Hi everyone, Namaste. Okay, so we will be casting some oracles today, and along with that, we'll have tarot and we will have general oracle cards. You have three pictures in front of you. The topic is what is next with Ma Kali, and just as you pick the picture, the general energy in the collective, as I have felt it, is around many obstacles, many bumps in the road, many setbacks, and a lot of draining energy. And how exactly we are going to navigate this right now. Yeah, all right. So now that you have picked your picture, the timestamps are in the description box, and I will see you all in your group. Hi, group one. Namaste. Welcome to your reading. You picked the very first picture of Mankali, and yeah, here we are. So let's just start with casting the oracles first for group number one. All right, so interesting. Group number one. If you will look closely, you can see two triangles forming. There's one triangle downward and there's one triangle right here upward. So the downward triangle is going towards your heart center, your feelings. So there is a lot of need right now to connect with community, with people, to receive love, affection, respect, words of appreciation right now. Almost like applause and appreciation and recognition is coming towards this group and needs to come towards this group right now. So perhaps there is a lot of hard work that you have put in a particular task, or even if it's just in your day-to-day life that you have been very diligent, disciplined, very strict about your ethics, and you have. So that is being recognized by the universe, and they are sending you the adequate amount of appreciation back, and this will come through community. Okay, and I know you will. It's interesting because right now we can feel isolated, as if there is no right community, but we'll see more on this. Now, another thing that is kind of trying to leave your body is, there is a lot of attack that you have suffered in your core personality. So this is like a pent up thing that I sense. It's coming straight from your childhood. By childhood, I mean when you were an infant. You could have been a toddler, just walking around noticing things in your home, and you really ingrained the negativity you might have seen with your parents. This is just an example. You could have seen it in general in your family, and then you ingrained that, right? And there is a lot of wisdom, I would say, that is trying to leave through your body. That this wisdom is translating itself into visions. So a lot of imagination, kind of your third eye is really being tickled, and it might feel like overstimulation right now. So there is a need for this group to ground itself, go out in nature a lot more, because you continue to feel very overstimulated. There are some very toxic energies that accumulated themselves in your life over many long periods, and this energy is leaving and attacking almost the higher and the lower centers, right? Like it is attacking your solar plexus, which is your confidence, self-esteem, how joyful you feel, how active you feel. And you might be judging yourself for being lazy or lethargic. Do not judge yourself. There is a genuine attack that I sense here. But you need to be talking about this more. In a way, help people out. This is one of the easiest alchemical work that we can do on a day-to-day basis. When we are facing a problem, for instance, I will give you in my life, even my solar plexus is undergoing some form of traumatic attack. And I'm not able to feel a lot of joy or confidence or even feeling high spirited. I'm not able to do that. So when I kind of help other people who might be feeling the same way, even though people say that walk the talk and stuff like that, like how can you preach if you're not doing it yourself? I mean, people say all of these things, but energy work is beyond these logical rules. So even if you're not able to practice this in your life, what would you say to a person? So if you find somebody stuck in the same situation as you, talk to them, give them advice, offer them some form of help and hope, and that will translate itself in your life, and you will start acting in a way which is more aligned towards your higher good. All right, so that is what I do see in the oracles for you. There's more around your throat and your sacral. This is about, you need to be making some demands from the universe that, okay, universe, this is who I am. I identify as being kind or creative, or identify with being a leader. I do identify as this. This is, I know I am this. And you have to be confident, and you have to state it out loud that, and this is what I deserve. I have been a very kind, let's say, a father. I have been a very kind father, and I deserve this. Please give me this, right? And this can be a kind mother, kind daughter, kind son. It can be anything, right? And you have to be able to state that out loud with confidence, without doubting the voice leaving you, leaving your throat, right? And because it is coming towards you, the universe is ready to give this all to you, except they're kind of just waiting to see if you can confidently ask for this or not. Okay, so to conclude, I would take 2 splits from the tarot. One is this, second is this. All right. We have the 8 of Cups, what, and the Tower. Okay, interesting. Things are very heavy for this group right now. Let me take another one, actually. Let me take one from the top. We have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, so things are very, they have not been easy, to say the least. There's a lot of pain, grief, chaos, confusion that this group has encountered. There seems to be no way out. Let's see what Spirit has to say in terms of the oracles that we'll get for you. Let's see. They're asking you to like ignore any form of disturbance, right? Like all of this doubt, this second guessing is really a form of disturbance, a form of an energy attack, you can say. And it's not coming from any one specific person, it's coming from different past lives, different timelines, your general blueprint, and almost a part of your soul purpose is to deal with these disturbing energies in a way that they no longer impact you, right? In a way that slowly you come to a place where you will be unfazed. The earth could be shaking beneath your feet, and yet you remain stable. You will not feel, like with this Tower card, you're being thrown out from a specific place. You're literally in the air, you're falling. And even as you're falling, you're like, well, I know I'll be fine. I know nothing bad will happen. I'm fine. I know in the end everything will be fine. And it is to that amount of faith and confidence that the universe is leading you. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. The message is positive, and I don't believe in toxic positivity. I do believe we need to check ourselves, be disciplined, be accountable. But I always believe that faith goes beyond these logical things, Yeah, anyway, we have divine couple union. We have the changeling exchange between the world, and we have 50 with hearth and family. All right. You will be able to see the cards better this way. And I was talking about the right relations, right? The right community. So we have that here. We have health and family, right relations. I feel for this group right now, you might be going through a period of separation from many people. Maybe some relationships as well that are falling apart. And you might be getting really triggered by the same people whom you used to call family or friends, and the message here is to be patient with it, to not lose your cool in a way that you end up doing something you might judge yourself for later. Like sometimes we can lose our cool, say something harsh, and it becomes difficult for us to forgive ourselves. So that way, just keep your basic manners in check was the first message. But at the same time, look, right now you are in a more vulnerable place. If you do get triggered, don't judge yourself. In the end, we're human, and you end up showing your anger or saying something harsh. You have to be able to forgive yourself for that. So after acknowledging it, do move to forgiveness. I think you're walking away from a lot of patterns, ways of being, ways of existing, how you used to do things, and even certain kind of ideas you used to have that, this is how I want things, or this is how an ideal family looks like. You're like walking away from it, and you don't really know what's next. You're like in this in between. This is what I feel here as well, like exchange between worlds, the changeling. Like you're going through a process of change where you need to leave something, but you don't exactly know that once I leave it, what else? What is the next thing I will go to? And the whole point of this reading was what's next. And the answer, interestingly enough and accurately enough, is that when changes happen, it is the period of confusion that actually gives us the freedom to try out many shoes and see which one fits. And that's to be seen as something to be grateful for, because some people can remain stuck in something and they never even get a chance to try out new things. They can stay stuck in something for so long. So I feel like even though there's a lot of chaos, and even though there's a lot of loneliness, or feeling of being abandoned and doing things on your own, it's somehow pushing you to do certain things that you would not have done otherwise. And this is something to be grateful for, because it's much better than being stuck in a old way of doing things, because you are moving towards, with the divine union, right relations, you are moving towards a more harmonious crowd. It's not just the right soulmate, because for many of you, yes, there will be the right partner ahead. That is what's next for you, the right partner, a higher form of spiritual love. But there's also a deeper commitment to your own self. There's a new you. So what is next is a new version of yourself, in which you have left many old habits, many old ways of thinking, right? And you might even look back and say, why was I ever like that? Why did I ever do these things in the first place? So you're really becoming something different and new, and I think that's a cause for celebration. And you are to breathe through it, because when what they're showing me, what your spirit guides are showing me, is like a mother in labor and giving birth, and the child is not born yet. So the process of giving birth is like really painful. And you're sweaty and you can't breathe, but you can't suck the child back in and be like, nope, the child will stay in my stomach. I won't deliver this child. This child will be in my belly always, because it's too painful. You can't do that. So breathe through it. Imagine that this is all this period is. It's a short period of giving birth to something. Okay, so that is the message that I have for you, Group 1. I really hope that this was helpful, and if you like what I said here, you can like, you can comment, and thank you actually for all the support you have been giving. It's so meaningful to me. It keeps me going. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love. I will see you in the next one. Hi Group 2, Namaste, welcome to your reading. Okay, so you picked the second picture of Ma Kali, and here we are. Let us look at what the Oracle will have to say for you. So for you, we have two downward colliding triangles. Okay, there is some friction which is happening within your own energy, in a way within your own thoughts, where your thoughts are colliding with each other. There's confusion, there's conflict, there's doubt, and a pull whether I should pick this or that. But in this case, the Oracle is kind of indicating that two different streams of thoughts need to come together and to synthesize and create a new thought. So two different things, modalities. You don't have to pick between this or that. It doesn't have to be an either this or that situation. Something bigger, grander, where you can have best of both worlds. That's the kind of energy which is coming in. Interestingly, solar plexus is a highlight for you as well. It was a highlight for Group 1 as well. Because if you will see, it is right at the very vertex of this downward triangle which is forming. Feels like there has been overworking tendencies, working too much, and you can hear my flatmates talking. Another interesting bit here is what I'm seeing is a moment of having broken down. So you might have had tears. There might have been a moment where you reached out to God for guidance and help. You might have really felt very broken. And the Oracle is kind of saying that your spirit guides really witnessed it. Mother God, Father God really saw you reaching out for help, and that help is on the way. So it's like it's not falling on deaf ears, the struggle, the pain that you might be in right now. There's also like a very solid need to kind of rise up above fear, your own insecurity of speaking out loud and fighting for what you need. What I keep getting is take more space, do something which allows you to shine and stand out, and where you are allowed to take space. There's some reason, some form of like, you make yourself small and you're in this anxious fear mode where you're anticipating that perhaps your next move will get you in trouble, and you're always scared of your own actions because you feel they might create trouble. And there's that pessimistic thinking which is hurting your overall energy right now. Yeah, and other than that, your heart, your heart chakra needs a lot of attention right now. I'm being drawn to it very strongly. I feel you need to listen to some heart affirmations where you can say that I am a loving person, I am a kind person, I'm gentle, and you can say these beautiful, pretty things about yourself. And because somewhere or the other, you don't believe in your own virtues, maybe you question your own intentions, maybe that could be a thing here. Because there's the root and the sacral kind of like at the edge, not at the edge entirely, but kind of separate. They've been thrown out. Maybe there's a need for some discipline in life. And I always say that discipline has to be around self-love more than anything. And if you exercise, you eat well, you have a routine which benefits you, it is an act of self-love. So discipline can be an act of self-love. So that. All right, let us take some tarot cards to further solidify this. All right, let's have a look. One here, and here, and 3 out here. We have the 5 of Wands. Okay. And the 2 of Swords. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It's in reverse, but I'm going to take it upright just for now. So, the first thing, I think that's just this analysis paralysis. There is something that you need to take a decision on, and what Ma Kali and spirit guides are coming in and saying, just take a decision. You're fighting your own self, and it's creating a rupture. You're wasting a lot of time thinking that there is a perfect decision. They're just saying, take a decision. Say yes or say no. We will make sure that the outcome of it will be to your best, for your highest good. But for now, you're just stuck. You're like, maybe yes, maybe no, maybe yes, maybe no. And it's giving negative energies a chance to attack you, and that is usually what happens when we're stuck, when we keep waiting for, this is the perfect decision. Now I have everything I need to make the right decision, or I have everything I need to start this. When we keep waiting for the perfect moment, we really can damage ourselves. And we can keep a good thing which is waiting for us in the future, we can keep it waiting. So just take that step. There's something, and that we saw how interesting we saw it in the marbles itself, that there's this collision, this conflict, doubt, confusion. You're not trusting your own wisdom about this. All right, let us see what solution we have here. The oracle moved. When the oracle moves like this, I feel like I'm supposed to take it as a sign. I'm seeing a star. Again, I'm seeing a star here, which feels like your spirit guides are saying that we heard your prayers. We did. So don't worry. Help is on the way. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Help is on the way. Okay. We have, we have Cernunos, antlered god, lord of the animals, very similar to the energy of Pashupati, form of Lord Shiva. We also have bear. Whoa, maybe you have a very strong connection with animals and you have a lot of animal guides who are coming to your rescue right now. That could be one thing. And we have 34, the power of place, calling in the spirit of place. How interesting. I have been connecting with the land gods. Like whenever I do say my prayers, I kind of say that I call on the elements of air, fire, water, earth, ether, Mother God, Father God, of all the elements. And then I kind of call to the spirit of the place. like the gods of the land, the spirits of the land. And I ask them to assist me, and it's a form of veneration because it feels like the specific piece of land or the country or wherever it is that you're living, it might have some negative energies which are keeping you stuck. But the same place also has a lot of positive energy which can help you move forward, which can help you, which will give you assistance, right? Fierce femininity, it feels like there's a very specific form of mother goddess which is connected to your country, your land, maybe even your ancestral place. Because when we talk about land, we might be living on Mars, but when we sometimes connect with the land spirit, even if you're on Mars, we can connect with the earth spirit. So it can sometimes land spirits just talk about the ancestral gods of your original place, your native place. So maybe your ancestors go back to Italy or Spain or somewhere in South America, something like that, right? So very interesting. That you are to call on them, and they will help you out. And there is some form of like the particular place that you might be living in is taking a toll on you, but you're not to be afraid of it, right? Don't start feeling negative towards this place. Instead, start taking actions to create your own lifestyle in this new place. Taking my own example, which I always do because it kind of helps to deliver the message. It hits home in a way. So when I moved to Varanasi, I was overwhelmed, and honestly, I still am, because mountains where I'm originally from, it's sparse population. I don't really see a lot of human beings there, and there's nature everywhere. And out here it's the total opposite. There's no nature and there's people. Like my neighborhood is in a quieter part, and yet it's so loud. And I was really afraid of the place, and I felt very negative about the place for a very long time until, I kept getting the message from my spirit guides that this is to make me stronger and better, and I need to establish a routine which fits my relationship with the city. I need to have a positive relationship with the city. And they said, wake up early in the morning when there's not many people, start going for a run. And it sounds easy, but it was not easy because, I had to wake up really early, and to this date, sometimes I'm not able to wake up early, and then my day goes not very good. But it was to keep me, give me an upgrade to help me become more powerful and believe in my own abilities. So, because of the amount of adaptation that I had to do in Varanasi, I can say confidently that if I go to some other hectic place, I will be able to adapt, even though I wasn't very successful at adapting out here. And that's it's a similar message, right? Where it feels like you might not be completely successful in adapting to this particular difficulty, right? And you might get a sense of failure, but the process itself is teaching you so much that in the future it's having huge returns. So the effort that you're putting in right now towards sending out good energy, keeping your hopes high, saying, okay, you know what, I'll try to make the best out of the situation, even though, like the example they're giving me is that you got these eggs and you were thinking that I will boil these eggs and I will eat them, but then the eggs they got cracked and they got broken, and then you were like, well, instead of wasting the eggs, let me make something, scrambled eggs or something. And that's what it is, and that this attitude is going to pay you back in the future in a huge amounts, because Pashupati form is a very, very abundant, very generous, beneficial form of Father God. Father God is not strict there, they are not demanding, they kind of give you rewards and they help you and heal you. So it's going to reward all this, again, with fierce femininity, the fierceness, the courage that you're showing right now, it's going to reward you in the future. On the other hand, you don't have to focus on succeeding. You just have to focus on trying. And if you feel like you're tired and you can't go on, it's good to give yourself grace, and you're allowed to stop fighting. I'm not saying keep fighting, even if you die. That's not it. I'm just saying that don't establish a negative relationship with this energy. Don't start seeing it as, oh, this is really bad. Always bad stuff happens to me when this happens. This will always be negative for me. So don't paint it that way. Just send good energy towards it, whatever it looks like for you. And during that period, you might feel fatigued, and then you'll have to hold yourself and give yourself grace. And maybe you'll have to go back to the mountains like I do. I'm always going back and forth. I'm always in Varanasi, and then I get overstimulated and really fatigued, and then I rush back to the mountains, and then I recharge, and then I come back and I start my mission again. So it can be like that you try and you take a break, right? Okay, so that is the message that I see for you, group 2. I really hope this was helpful, and yeah, thank you everyone for liking, for commenting. It has really helped to keep me going, and I'm sending you so much love, and I hope to see you soon again. Take care. Hi, group 3. Namaste. Welcome to your reading. All right, so you picked the third picture of Ma Kali, and here we are. So let us get to the oracles. All right. I immediately, even when I was like shuffling, when I was connecting with the oracle, I felt that this group needs grounding. That's what it needs. Like there's some kind of force coming towards this group. I feel like this wave which is taking you towards source. It's kind of like check in with God, like talk to God a little bit more, whatever your idea of God is, and ground yourself through that. So grounding can happen in a lot of ways, right? So you can connect with the earth, you can connect with nature, you can have breathing practices. But for this group, it feels like prayer. Prayer and talking to God is a very important grounding practice, and I would suggest spending more time just praying, in the act of praying, talking to God, remembering God. It's very grounding and necessary for this group, right? So that's one thing. On the periphery of it, we have your solar plexus, and we also have your third eye. I guess these are the ones that it has been the theme in both the previous groups, and it has also been the theme in the general collectives, that there is a sense of being burnt out, psychically as well. Like if you are a psychic, a healer, an empath specifically, then right now there is more need to actively ask for support, to ask other people to assist you, to help you do certain things and get some things done. If you are in a particular place where you like to do everything by yourself, then things might take longer than necessary, right? And I don't mean to frighten you. It's just one of the things during this period your soul has decided that I will learn how to receive support in helpful ways for myself. So it's a mission almost, because you might be somebody who's hyper independent, right? Yeah. Something with the sacral as well that's going on. It's really towards the edge. And our sacral kind of can depict our individuality, how much we believe in ourselves. But when that increases too much, it happens because of trauma, or because of, in extreme case, you can be narcissistic, when your ego is so wounded that you feel everybody is just BS, everybody is nonsensical, and only I can do things. Nobody else can do things the right way. And that eventually hurts you, because even though it creates some form of a strong personality, somewhere or the other, your body and your spirit starts feeling isolated, and kind of feels that if there is a crisis, I have nobody to rely on. And there's a underlying sense of fear there. So these things could be coming to light right now, right? I'm not saying you're narcissistic. I'm taking narcissism as the extreme end of the spectrum. But as we move away from the spectrum, we can still experience some of the negative energy that the extreme of narcissism gets. And that negative energy is this feeling of, that crisis, that no one will be able to help me because they don't know how to help me. They're not aware of my needs. They're not aware of how unique I am. And it can usually lead to us shrinking ourselves even more and rejecting society even more, when there might be a need on the other hand, to look for active ways in which you can get support from people. Very interesting. What else is there? I'm seeing somebody like patting themselves on the back. I'm so sorry, my mic probably made some funny sound there. Anyway, I saw somebody patting themselves on the back and kind of going, you got this, and somebody's like holding their heart and patting their heart and saying, you can do this, you can do this. So there's something like difficult that you're doing, and it mostly feels like social anxiety, and you're working on social anxiety during this period, and you do need to do that because I feel for one reason or another, over time this group has become kind of meek and timid and afraid, and has given into some people pleasing tendencies slightly, and it leads to two things, where either you are in a group of people pleasing everybody, or you're completely alone. You know, but there's like a solid collaboration that's trying to happen here. Source is really trying to reach you and trying to help you find the kind of community that will eventually make your personality, make your life holistic, because being around people all the time and being alone all the time, neither of these things are good. Pleasing everybody all the time and rejecting everybody all the time, these two extremes are what you have struggled with often, and they are really getting resolved right now. There's a lot of strong alchemy that's happening. All right, let's actually take a look at the tarot. I've not been keeping very well, so I feel like my shoulder has started to tingle again. I wonder what this is for me. My solar plexus has also been insane. Anyway, let us have a look. Why do we have you? We have King of Pentacles in reverse. We have Queen of Pentacles. We had Queen of Pentacles in reverse in the last group. Five of Wands. Wow. Okay. Some very similar cards from group 2, and the Eight of Wands. I hope you can see this properly. I really don't know if you can. Let me. So the way that I am interpreting these cards is that there's been a lot of energy that has come towards you. This feels like it's my group, to be honest, because I have felt a lot of energy come towards me, and I've just been so confused about what to do with it. And because I don't know what to do with it, the energy kind of becomes mismanaged, and I become disorganized, undisciplined. I start doing too many things out of kindness, and then suddenly I start becoming very neglectful of society. Like sometimes I feel like I can do everything for everyone, and suddenly I feel, oh no, I don't want to. I won't even lift a spoon for anyone. I'm so done. So I have been in that pendulum, and this energy really reminds me of that. Maybe that's where you have been as well. And mostly this is happening because very strongly, you and me both, we need to be grounding ourselves, because for most of us throughout this year, there will be a very strong theme of discipline, grounding, meditation, and creating a healthy, wholesome routine. Not a productive routine, not a routine where you can get everything done, but a routine which is healthy, which takes your mind, your body, and your spirit into consideration. And any misalignment of these three, mind, body, spirit, will lead to chaotic manifestations, because this year we are really creating new ways of existence. And it's similar for you. There has to be routine, there has to be more, there has to be meditation, there has to be some amount of exercise, there has to be self-love, and there has to be some love for the community in the right amount. And everything in the right amount is the secret to the answer that you might have been looking for some time, right? And I've sensed that this group already kind of knew this, and they were just, this kind of just confirms it for you. So anyway, let's keep going. Oh God, more grounding. Like this group needs more grounding than most other groups, I would say. This is my group. It feels like so applies to me as well. We have bard storytelling. I do feel that some of you are definitely psychic over here. Thorn tree, the sacred sign, and coupling of earth and sky, unlimited possibilities. For many of you, this is because kind of, it's a training period for when many things you will finally have a lot of things you want, right? Like this year, you will have a certain amount of money that you have always wanted to have. You will have it. A certain amount of stability you have always wanted. You will have it. Maybe there's a gift you have always wanted to unlock and you will be able to. Maybe there's a job you wanted or there's a shift you wanted to leave the city. You are getting something you wanted. But in order to sustain it, sometimes I always say this, the universe can give us what we want, but if we don't know how to hold it, it will leave. That's why it feels like a preparation period, kind of like army training before you go into the battlefield. Of course, I don't encourage war for any whatever reason. I'm not. So that's a bad example for someone like me to give. But more so, I would say how you would prepare for an exam. You will write some mock exams, you will read a lot of books, and you will give some tests until you write the final exam so that you can get the result you need. And this is that period where everything is testing, because the final thing will come and then you will be prepared. So if everything is not perfect right now, it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. You're really in preparation mode. And there's there's definitely some form of blessing, some kind of wish being fulfilled, a prayer being answered. For many of you, with the coupling of earth and sky, it's either a union with a soulmate, but it also feels like unlocking a gift, a spiritual gift or a skill like singing or painting that you have wanted to do. This is something very close to your heart, which is finally happening for you this year. But until it happens, Spirit is kind of pushing you to be more disciplined in your life right now. Because you have a lot of precious energy and you're going to be very abundant in money, in emotions, in physical health. And Spirit is just kind of trying to prepare you for that period of abundance, because we have seen it in the history of humanity that as soon as people get rich or as soon as they get what they want, they start slacking off. Somebody is disciplined, kind, humble, and suddenly you give them loads of wealth, a lot of food, good clothes, and they start becoming lazy, or they don't know they might waste all of that money because they don't know how to manage that. So it seems something like that, right? So take it in good stride. Any confusion right now, it's just a sign that the opposite level of stability is on its way, and you just have to answer. You have to allow the universe to train you right now, even if it feels a little tough, right? Okay, so that is the message that I have for you, Group 3. I really hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you, everybody, for liking, commenting, for your support. It really keeps me going. I mean it. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Until then, take care.